Hey everyone, it's Will from the Bulwark. Well, here we are. Americans decided to re-elect Donald Trump. And now the liars and cowards who helped Trump get elected are trying to tell us that he's not at all the nasty, vengeful, wannabe dictator we all thought he was. So today, I'm going to show you what those liars are saying on TV. And then I'm going to show you the truth. I'm going to show you what Trump has actually been saying for the last 3 months. And you're going to see with your own eyes that he's absolutely as vicious and dangerous as all of us at the Bulwark said he was. Let's start with the gaslighting. Here's what Vivek Ramaswamy, a propagandist for the new administration, said on Sunday when he was asked this question by ABC's Jonathan Karl.
Mike Davis, who had been mentioned by Donald Trump Jr. as a possible candidate for attorney general in a new Trump administration, has been calling for all-out revenge against Trump's opponents. I want to give you just a couple of examples, and believe me, there are many, but a couple of examples of what he has said on X. He says Trump's opponents attempted to bankrupt him for non-fraud, imprison him for non-crimes, and take him off the ballot and take off his head. Now they want unity. F them. Let's unify them in prison.
Well, look, the fact of the matter is you haven't heard that from Donald Trump.
Really? We haven't heard that from Trump? What do you think Trump's been saying?
What you're hearing from Donald Trump is he is going to be a president for all Americans. He is a guy who, in that first term, he had crowds chanting, "Lock her up" for Hillary Clinton. He didn't prosecute her. I think Donald Trump is focused on what makes people's lives better. And I think it's time to turn the page on a lot of these histrionics or Hitler comparisons or airlifting some quote of some person who Donald Trump
this is
So that's the party line. Trump never said this awful stuff about jailing people. And watch what Ramaswamy said when Karl pointed out that, in fact, when Trump was president the first time, he did try to prosecute his political enemies.
I've heard you say that he didn't prosecute Hillary Clinton. I mean, I've talked to Bill Barr about this. He wanted the Justice Department to prosecute, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and they kind of pulled him back. But your sense is that retribution talk is done?
I'm going to tell you what Donald Trump has said on this time and again. Success will be our retribution. Success will be our vengeance. That's a direct line from Donald Trump. It's a beautiful sentiment.
Oh, yeah. A beautiful sentiment. All that talk about Trump seeking revenge? According to these liars, that's all made up. Here's another Trump propagandist, Congressman Byron Donalds, peddling the same story this weekend on Fox News.
For the American people who've been listening to these lies from the Democratic left, I would tell you this is not something that Donald Trump has ever spoken to or he's committed to whatsoever. There's no enemies list. I mean, yeah, there are people who've been opposed to him, but he is focused on the American people. That's his focus. His focus is the American people, not some enemies list that only gets talked about in the Daily Kos or Salon.com or any other place like that.
Oh, no, there's no enemies list. I mean, why would you believe your own eyes? For example, this interview Trump did on October 20th, just 3 weeks ago.
That's an enemy from within. That is a threat to democracy. These are bad people. We have a lot of bad people. But when you look at Shifty Schiff and some of the others, they are, to me, the enemy from within. I think Nancy Pelosi is an enemy from within.
And then, a week later, Trump said this at a rally in Atlanta.
But Kamala is labeling more than half of the country as the enemy combatants, and she's calling them all fascists and Nazis, okay? But she's a fascist, okay? She's a fascist.
Now, that's a complete fabrication. Kamala Harris never called Americans enemy combatants or anything like that. You can look it up. But it's telling that Trump, in his fabrication, chose to use that phrase. He wants us to think of our fellow Americans as the enemy. And he was adding Harris, along with Pelosi and Adam Schiff, to that list. And then a week later, at a rally in Pennsylvania, he added Michelle Obama.
But she came at me the other day. That's not nice of her to do. And I think we're going to start having a little fun with Michelle. I think we're going to have a little fun with Michelle.
Now, what does Trump intend to do to the people on his enemies list? Well, for starters, he says he could throw Hillary Clinton in jail. Here's what he said on the Lex Friedman podcast in September.
I could have done a big number on Hillary Clinton. I thought it looked terrible to take the president's wife and put her in prison. She's so lucky. I didn't do anything. She's so lucky.
Bear in mind, Hillary Clinton has never even been charged with a crime. But Trump says the only reason she's not in jail is because he has graciously decided not to put her there. And he said it again just a couple of weeks ago in a radio interview with Hugh Hewitt. The audio here isn't great, but you'll hear Trump say, "I could have had her put in jail."
I could have had her put in jail, and I decided I didn't want to do that.
Remember, when Trump says he personally could have put Hillary Clinton in jail, that means that 2 months from now, when he takes office, he believes he can do that. And these people, Clinton, Pelosi, Schiff, Harris, are just the beginning of Trump's list of enemies. Listen to what he said at a rally in September about people who criticize his appointees to the Supreme Court.
These people should be put in jail the way they talk about our judges and our justices, trying to get them to sway their vote, sway their decision.
Now, to be fair, Trump doesn't think everyone on his enemies list deserves to be thrown in jail. For example, he has a different plan for Liz Cheney, the former Congresswoman who served as vice chair of the committee that investigated Trump's role in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Here's what Trump said about that committee at an appearance in Arizona 2 weeks ago on October 31st.
They call it the J6 Select Committee, like select. They're not select, they're scum. They deleted and destroyed all evidence, all documents. There's nothing. And the reason they did it is because they were guilty as hell. It's the greatest cover-up.
Okay, that's a complete lie about the committee destroying evidence. But listen to what Trump said at that same event about what should be done to Cheney.
Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
Are you feeling the unity? Are you feeling the love? Now, of course, Trump's PR men swear he wasn't personally threatening to have Cheney executed. And I'm sure they can also explain why, in the next clip I'm about to show you, Trump didn't actually threaten to withhold money for disaster relief from California. Here's the clip from a rally Trump did on October 12th. He was talking about the governor of California, Gavin Newsom.
And we'll force it down his throat. And we'll say, Gavin, if you don't do it, we're not giving you any of that fire money that we send you all the time for all the forest fires that you have.
So let's see. Clinton, Schiff, Pelosi, Harris, Cheney, Newsom. Who else is on the enemies list? Oh yeah, the press. Here's what Trump said about them at his rally in Madison Square Garden 2 weeks ago.
Even the enemy, because they are the enemy, what they've said, even that enemy too, and they're really the enemy. They're the enemy of the people, the press.
And what does Trump plan to do to the press? Well, for starters, he wants to take away their broadcast licenses. And he wants to force at least one news program off the air. Listen to what Trump said at a rally in Michigan on October 25th.
And 60 Minutes should be taken off the air. They should. And CBS should lose its license.
And then here's what he said at a rally in Nevada a week later.
I think CBS should lose its license, but I think ABC should lose its license also because of what they've done.
Why does Trump want to censor these networks? Because he doesn't like the way ABC moderated his debate with Harris. And he also doesn't like the way 60 Minutes edited an interview with her. But getting pulled off the air is the least of what Trump wants to do to the press. Watch what he said at a rally in Pennsylvania on November 3rd, 2 days before the election, about reporters at that rally who might be in the line of fire if somebody tried to shoot him.
To get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much, because I don't mind. I don't mind that.
So let's cut the crap about how Trump has no enemies list and the only retribution he wants is success, and how he's never said all the mean things he's accused of by the liberal media. Trump is a hater, and he's out for vengeance, and he's been threatening for months to punish the Democrats, cripple the media, and throw people in jail. And this garbage you're seeing now, where Republicans go on TV and tell you that he never said any of this, that's the same gaslighting propaganda that happens in other countries where one man controls the government and his liars use the media to try to erase history. We didn't used to be one of those countries, but that's where we are now. See you next time.